Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Hakudash. Yahweh is named Heavenly Father, meaning He is, He exists, He to be. Ba'in Hada, Sham name, Yahushai, being named begotten Son, meaning He deliver, He saves, Hakudash, Holy Spirit. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. Shalom and above all. Back at it again with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai. Lord willing, this video is edifying. Deadliest cholera outbreak in Malawi's history kills 1,210 people and is spilling over into neighboring regions. All right, so this is another pestilence alert. This article came out February 9, 2023. It says the deadliest cholera outbreak in Malawi's history has killed at least 1,210 people, while these remain scarce and several other African nations report outbreaks, the World Health Organization said Thursday. The Southern African nation has been battling its worst cholera outbreak on record, with nearly 37,000 cases reported since March 2022. Confirmed cases, so that's almost a year now. Confirmed cases have already been reported across the border in Mozambique, or Bikwe, while the World Health Organization said it assessed the current risk of spread inside Malawi and to other neighboring countries as very high. The WHO said in a statement that active transmission was now ongoing in 27 out of Malawi's 29 districts, with the country seeing a 143% increase in the number of cases last month compared to December. With the sharp increase of cases seen over the last month, fears are that the outbreak will continue to worsen without strong interventions, WHO warned in a statement. But the UN Health Agency, the United Nations Health Agency, pointed out that the crisis in Malawi is occurring against a backdrop of surging cholera outbreaks worldwide, which have constrained the ability of these tests and treatments. Some 80,000 cases were recorded on the African continent over the whole of 2022. If the current fast rising trend continues, it could surpass the number of cases recorded in 2021, the worst year for cholera in Africa in nearly a decade, the WHO said. Since the outbreak began, Malawi has carried out 2 large V campaigns, but due to limited supplies has offered just one of the usually recommended 2 oral cholera V doses. In November, it received the second batch of almost 3 million doses from the UN, and the last month health ministry spokesman told AFP and all doses had been used. Okay, so this is another outbreak of pestilence. And, these devils, they're very crafty because, years back, Bill Snakes, he was doing a lot of trips to so-called Africa, and the so-called Africa because really it's known as the land of Ham. The continent of Africa is known as the land of Ham. Okay, and you got the so-called Africans there, which are the Hamites. Now you have some of our people scattered amongst them because, Israel scattered into the 4 corners of the earth, and a lot of our people fled into the interiors of Western Africa in 70 AD. All right, but nonetheless, all the way to present day. Nonetheless, all right, you had a lot of Bill Snakes expeditions over there in Africa. All right, and Africa really goes back to the name of a Roman general, Leo Scipio Africanus, which was an Edomite, okay? But nonetheless, the point being what? Bill Snakes did a lot of trips over there, in particular V trips. And when I say the word V, I'm talking about the big boogie word, all right, the VACCINES. Okay, that's the V word I'm referring to. Bill Snakes did a lot of trips over there testing out his Vs in Africa. So, of course, they're over here saying that they don't have adequate resources because their whole thing is to thin the herd, figuratively speaking. And when I say thin the herd, all right, read between the lines. All right, so this looks like it's right on the schedule. Then you got another article. It says cholera kills over 1,200 in Malawi, threatens neighbors, WHO. So it's just another article right here, pretty much going to the same thing that was on End Time Headlines. So it says the norovirus. So there's another one. The norovirus is spreading across the country, and the number of cases are higher than last year, CDC reports. It says, if you recently had the stomach bug, you're not alone. If you recently had the stomach bug, you're not alone. norovirus, a highly contagious intestinal infection, is currently spreading across the United States. According to the data from the CDC, reported outbreaks are currently outpacing last year's number. Okay? It says, it's going over the facts in the video. Okay? And it says right here, according to recent data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, reported outbreaks of the stomach illness are currently outpacing last year's numbers. So far, there have been 225 reported norovirus outbreaks from August to January. During the same period in 2022, there were only 172 reported cases. Despite the current rise of the norovirus cases, the CDC reports that the number of outbreaks so far this year is within the range reported during the same period from 2012 to 2020. Most norovirus outbreaks in the U.S. happen from November to April, but you can contract the illness at any time of the year. According to the CDC, each year the virus causes 19 to 21 million cases of vomiting and diarrhea illnesses, 109,000 hospitalizations, and 900 deaths in the U.S. So, all these different pestilences and plagues coming up randomly all at one time. This is a part of the destruction. This is a part of the end times. Okay, the Lord spake about pestilence is coming in the last day, and the ultimate pestilence is Esau, Edom. He's the ultimate pestilence in the earth, and the Lord puts a spirit on these devils to make a lot of these man-made pestilences, man, and push it out to the people. It says the infection causes inflammation of the stomach or intestines. Symptoms of norovirus typically include vomiting, diarrhea, nausea, stomach pain, fever, aches, and chills. And it's funny, the other day I was out to dinner with family members, and one particular family member said how their stomach just randomly started hurting, and when we went out to dinner, they didn't eat anything heavy. All they had was vegetables and rice, yet their stomach was still hurting. So it could have been a damn norovirus. You know what I'm saying? They were saying how that was like the worst stomach they had in a long time. So, hey, that goes to show you, man, these pestilences, they're on the rise, man. Okay? And this was only a couple days ago. If I'm not mistaken, this was last week. Okay? So it says, symptoms of the norovirus typically include vomiting, diarrhea, nausea, stomach pain, fever, aches, and chills. A person usually develops symptoms 12 to 48 hours after being exposed to norovirus, and most people typically recover within 1 to 3 days. And that's exactly what happened, and they mentioned some of the symptoms that they had, okay, which I believe one of the symptoms was the chills that they mentioned, okay, and aches, okay, and like it says, they recover typically within 1 to 3 days, and after a short period of time, that same family member said they were, feeling better again. So these little viruses, they're outbreaking once again, man. This is most and now imagine if you got the snake juice up in you, so your immunity is down, so it's harder for you to fight against these viruses, man. It says most noroviruses outbreaks happen when the illness spreads it to others through direct contact, like by sharing food and beverages. Outbreaks are most commonly reported in healthcare facilities. And you see, hey, brothers, go get all beef for this one. Brothers know me to be a germaphobe. Not necessarily that I'm afraid of germs or nothing like that, but I'm not the type to share my drink, share my food, But look at that, you know what I'm saying? Now, if you are a brother who does that, I'm not saying you going off. That's just me, okay? But, that's what they're saying, how it's spreading. Okay, it says like by sharing food and beverages. Outbreaks are most commonly reported in healthcare facilities, including long-term care facilities and hospitals. Another common location of norovirus outbreaks in schools. I'm going to just say NV for sake of wisdom. Another common location of NV outbreaks in schools and children care centers. In fact, the CDC reports that NV outbreaks had even led to campus closures at schools and universities. If you believe you have contracted the NV, if the CDC encourages you to drink a lot of liquids to replace any fluid loss, replenishing your fluid will help prevent dehydration, which can lead to hospitalization if not treated properly. All right, so that's the point on that right there. I'm no professional medical doctor to give medical advice, just reading what the article said. So, the point of this lesson is really just to bring out the vibration that, Yahweh Shai is spreading these pestilences in the earth once again, as he said he would, man. Okay, and these pestilences surely are dropping bodies, man. All right, and that's the judgment of the Lord. Okay. Let me see if I get these. Jeremiah 28:8 says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. That's right. And that's what you see going down, man. Okay, you're seeing rumors of war, you're seeing many evils going on the earth, and you're seeing pestilences, man. Okay. Jeremiah 29:17, thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will send upon them the sword, which goes into the killing instruments, death, destruction, the famine. And Yahweh Shemashai is having famine, being set up through the Spirit. All these different things is hitting Babylon all at one time in these different nations. It says, and the pestilence, all right, and that's what we just read about, and will make them like vile figs that they cannot be eaten. They are so evil. That's right. So the Lord's bringing pestilences, man. All right. And there's plenty of scriptures to go into this topic. Ezekiel 14, starting at verse 13, it says, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and will break the staff of the bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, saith the Lord power. That's right. So the Lord, this land and all the world ultimately has sinned grievously against Yahweh Bashem Mashai. So the Lord's stretching his hand upon it, bringing judgment upon this place, man. Okay? So one of the judgments is famine, and it's going to kill both man and beast. And the Lord said, if Noah, Daniel, and Job are in the city where he's stretching forth judgment, they're going to be delivered by their own righteousness. So we all got to work out our salvation. We can't save each other. The only one that can save us is Yahweh Shema Shai. We can't even save ourselves. All right, how we make it out of here is through the righteousness of the Lord. Okay? It says, if I cause noisome beasts to pass through the land, and they spoil it, so that it be desolate, and that no man pass through because of the beasts. That's what the Lord's going to do in Jacob's trouble. Scripture say how the wild beasts shall change their places, man. Also, Revelation, the 6th chapter and the 8th verse talks about the pale horse. One of the judgments of the pale horse is wild beasts, man. But in the time of trouble, like the Lord said in Job, the 5th chapter, that we're going to be at peace with the beasts of the field, man. And we're going to be in league, okay? Verse 16, though these three men were in it, as I live, saith the Lord power, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters. They only shall be delivered, but the land shall be desolate. So the Lord, he's getting ready to drop a lot of bodies, man. And the Lord's not a respecter of persons. If you ain't living right, you're going to get judged. Okay? If I bring a sword upon that land and say, sword, go through the land, so that I cut off man and beast from it. Though these three men were in it, as I live, saith the Lord power, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters, but they only shall be delivered themselves. Or if I send a pestilence into that land, and pour out my fury upon it in blood, to cut off from it man and beast, though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, as I live, saith the Lord power, they shall deliver neither son nor daughter, they shall but deliver their own souls by their righteousness. For thus saith the Lord power, how much more when I send my four sore judgments upon Jerusalem, the sword, and the famine, and the noisome beast, and the pestilence, to cut off man and beast, cut off from it man and beast. Yea, behold, therein shall be left a remnant that shall be brought forth, both sons and daughters. Behold, they shall come forth unto you, and you shall see their way and their doings, and you shall be comforted concerning the evil that I brought upon Jerusalem, even concerning all that I have brought upon it. And they shall comfort you when you see their ways and their doings, and you shall know that I have not done without cause all that I have done in it, saith the Lord power. That's right. So only the elect, the remnant, is going to be saved from the judgments of the Lord. Okay? The Lord is plaguing Egypt once again. And like the Lord said, he's going to bring upon them the pestilences that was not written in the book, and that that we didn't see in Egypt. He was going to add those plagues, man. Okay? Let's see. Deuteronomy 28, starting at verse 58. It says, if thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord Yahweh thy power, then the Lord Yahweh will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. That's right. The Lord got so many judgments that not even all the books of the world can contain the judgments that Yahweh B'Shem Shai has up his sleeve. Just like when Yahweh Shai did all those righteous miracles, it says not even all the books of the world can contain the miracles he did. Well, it's the same thing for the Lord's judgments, man. Okay? So the Lord said also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. And you shall be left few in number, whereas you were the stars of heaven for a multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord thy power, man. That's right, man. So Yahweh B'Shem Shai is getting ready to thin the herd, okay, through Esau, Edom, bringing these pestilences. A lot of these pestilences, best believe, CDC, they're they're the center of disease control, all right? Put it that way. A lot of these pestilences are manufactured by men. Okay? Plain and simple. And that's why a lot of these pestilences are also learning to adapt and learning how to overcome, different humanly mechanisms built within your body to protect you and make you immune to these things. Okay? Matthew 24:7 says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Okay? And that's what it is. So there's going to be a lot of famines, earthquakes, and that's what we're seeing now. Look what happened in Turkey and all around the world. All right, you're seeing World War III brewing up, rumors of war. You're seeing pestilences. You're seeing famines being on the rise, so on and so forth, man. There's going to be a lot more death in the planet Earth, man. A lot of people are getting ready to be destroyed in these last days. So, I don't want to beat the point over the head. Point has been made. So many other scriptures that you could get to, so if the Spirit's on you, you can leave it under the comment board. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Shai, B'Shem Chakwadash, double honors to the apostle of his great Muslim ever will. Peace and blessings to elect Israel, Shalom, and above all.